Good day down at the allotment, as you have most probably gathered. Today I'm going to be looking at our Indian Perennial Kale. Now, we were given 2 cuttings of this kale about 18 months ago, and the person who gave it to me said, if you want to propagate from it, do not harvest from it until it has set seed, which could be in its first year, it could be in its second year. So, got a bit gunk on my thing. So we have done that. You've most probably seen in our plot tours that it's been covered over on our lower plot. And this year it did flower, and we let the bees into that, and it has now set seed, which you'll see in a minute. Just going to pause for this plane. So now it has set seed. There are also at the bottom, there are also little branches coming off the main stem, and it's those that we're going to break off and then cut the leaves down a bit so that it's not too much leaf. And we're going to put those into general purpose compost with a bit of hormone rooting powder and see if we can grow plants from that. That's exactly what we did 18 months ago when the lady gave us the 2 cuttings, and as you will see, they have grown into plants which are most probably, I think if I lifted them up, they'd most probably be about 3.5 foot tall, something like that. We're now going to, once we have taken cuttings from these 2 plants, we will then be harvesting the leaves from it and eating the leaves, just like you would eat cabbage. Now, I've been calling this an Indian Perennial Kale. Why have I been calling it that? Well, this actually came back from the Punjab region of India about 8 or 10 years ago, I think. It was a cutting that was brought back from, I think it was around Kalandhar in the Punjab, which is where the family of our friend who gave us the cuttings comes from. So I've always called it Indian Perennial Kale, but actually, is it Indian Perennial Kale? I think it may be Taunton Deane, because it has that very, very distinctive purple stripe down the leaf. Another plane going over. So yes, it's got a very distinctive pinky purple streak going down the leaf, or all the leaves obviously, which Taunton Deane also has. So in my mind, what I'm now thinking is that a cutting may have been taken in Victorian times to India, have been grown on generationally in India, and then brought back 8 or 10 years ago. Now, what I have noticed on our friend's plant that she gave us the cuttings, she harvests the leaves throughout the year, but has kept the plant really quite short. It's only about 2 foot tall, and the leaves that she gets are about the size of the palm of my hand, let's say, where the leaves on this one, because I think we've let it get bigger, some of them are the size of a dinner plate. So yeah, let me go and show you our Indian Perennial Kale, which after a bit of research I think may be Taunton Deane. This is our Indian Perennial Kale. It's 18 months old. There's 2 here. And as you can see, we have let it go to seed, so we can actually see whether what they say about this is true, that you can both take seed from it and take cuttings. Pretty healthy specimen. We do have some green fly on it. If we're going close, you can see what I mean about the purple stripe going through the leaf, which makes me think it's Taunton Deane, or originally Taunton Deane. So we're leaving these to seed up, and are going to take seed and plant seed. Obviously it will be several years before we actually find out whether true perennial kale will come from this seed. Then moving here, what we're going to do today, here's the stem. You can see it's thick, it's mostly 1.5 inches across there, and up in here, see all of that's coming off the stem. We go in there, there's some there. These are all, I'll move that leaf out of the way, potential cuttings. So I'm literally snapping that off. Snapping that off. Snapping off. Let's take that one. So we just snapped these off. I'm going to take them now to the polytunnel. We're just going to tidy them up and put them on. These are the cuttings we have just taken. And what I'm going to do is, you need to make sure you get a node. Actually, it's not, if you wanted to put that straight in the ground to root, hopefully it should. We are going to use some hormone rooting powder as well, but what I am going to do is snap this bit off to get a bit of fresh, because that's now about 5 minutes old. But what I'm going to do is just tidy these up a bit and see how many cuttings we have. There's about 12 cuttings here, maybe even 15. We're just going to take these and moving these to the side for the minute. Just going to take these, taking the bigger leaves off. I'm going to leave that one leaf. Snapping that there. Leave that one. Where's my other? Here again, taking the bigger leaves off. Going to leave that one. We have three cuttings, one pot. And really make sure you firm these in. And that's now going to go into some water to let the water soak up from the bottom. So I'm going to get on with these now. From those cuttings we have 18 cuttings. I've left one sort of big leaf on each and some smaller leaves. At the back here are much smaller cuttings that we had left over. So we will see how they progress. They're sitting in a bath of water at the moment, and we will leave them like that for a good couple of hours to make sure that the water soaks up into the bottom, and then we will follow the progress. We'll also be taking the seeds from the seeds heads that are developing at the moment and see whether we can get them to grow on and be perpetual. Okay, thanks very much for watching. If you like what we do, please do subscribe, and hope to see you soon. Bye.